Tire rotations is huge, okay? So the front of the vehicle is taking the brute force of all of it, right? So you're braking, vehicle leans forward, it's putting weight on the fronts, right? You're steering, you're scrubbing the tires as you steer on the ground, but you're also having weight, so the body rolls every time you steer. So you're putting a lot of pressure, specifically on the outside and inside edges. When you don't rotate your tire, you will just wipe out the front tires because they're under a lot of pressure. Turning, braking, steering, especially heavier vehicles. I mean, the weight swings up front and you're braking, right? And it's just putting a lot of pressure on the tires. So what you'll get is you can get edge wear, so the outside and edge will be real rounded, and or you can get some really choppy wear from just the lack of the tire rotations. And the rears only they roll straight. So they'll wear really square and really nice and straight for you. What's great about that is then you do the rotation and you put the nice squared tires up front and it stops from pulling and grabbing all of the road undulations. Dualies, that's another one. That's also another one that's important because the inside dual will wear pretty hard because that's where it's kind of handling most of the weight, is in the center of the vehicle. And then the outer dual, they both will wear square, if you will, but the inners has all the pressure, has way more of the pressure on it. Same principle though in the front, it's taking all of the steering brunt. Just to think about it, like when you go to stop really quick and you go to make that right-hand turn at the light, I mean, you're putting, the body's rolling. You don't really feel it because the suspension's handling it for you, but the car is rolling like this, right? So it's diving in the front, picking up in the rear. You're basically scraping in a way. You're scraping the tire as you turn. Scuffing tread, whatever direction you're turning now. The maintenance sheets tell you they want a rotation and an alignment every 10,000 miles. And that, I'm telling you, that stretches your tires out. So this is a 4-wheel drive Sprinter, and they do have all-terrain tires. And you can see there's a little bit of roundness, so there's some edge wear here. So the tread is shorter here than it is in the center of it. Just looking at, I could probably tell it's been up here for a little bit. It's not terrible, but it's pretty flat and then I slope. Pretty flat and then I slope. And then we'll come to the back ones. These outer lugs are essentially the same all the way around. Slight slope. This is an off-road tire. It's got sidewall protection. It's definitely an off-roading tire. These are kind of loud on the street. They're definitely not meant to be quiet. Thicker your block is. So you gotta think of this pad from here to here is hitting the street, then this one hits the street, then this one hits the street as it rolls. It's just gonna, I'm being exaggerant, but it's like a slap, a slap, a slap, a slap, a slap, because there's a lot of opening. But what's great about that is when you go off-road and you're in the mud, you're in the dirt, you're in the sand, it just sheds that stuff right out of it and you have traction. And they're not, it'll wear faster because it is an all-terrain tire. It's a softer rubber compound to add traction when you're off-roading. But because it's softer, it wears harder. But this is a Sprinter van. So we go to a vehicle, we go to a car. This is a passenger car tire, right? And you'll see in this one, the tread blocks are extremely close compared to that all-terrain, right? There's such a minimal gap right here. All of these are contacting the road. And what's really great about this brand of Michelin is you'll notice like the size differences, how it changes from size. So it's like short, big. The reason they do that, these different sizes, is it's noise canceling. So as the bigger block hits, it makes a noise, and then the smaller block hits and it makes a different tone, and they'll actually cancel each other out. So this tire is meant to be quiet, smooth, and tons of mileage. Now, Michelin doesn't design tires to last forever, but what it is meant to do is get driven every day, all day, across town, up to 17, whatever you want to say. This tire does that. The older generation, they have tires that'll last, right? They have different brands, but this stuff's meant to perform for you. If you can zoom in here, I'll show you something that separates Michelin from a lot of people. So it's kind of hard to see, but there's a casting line right here. There's another one right here, and there's another one right here, right? There's thousands of these casting lines, right? Now you'll see an inferior tire brand, and you'll see a casting line. It'll be from here, and it'll be all the way to here. So think of all the room for imperfection on one cast instead of a little one. So it's like this tire is gonna balance better than anybody else's tires. So that's what I look for in tires, is like, and you'll see like the very cheap tires, it'll be like this. One cast, and what it'll actually do is it'll wear your suspension out. So your shocks dampen the road, okay? Now, if you have a tire out of balance, or you just have a very bad tire and it's causing the shock, it'll actually overwork the shock and wear it out. So you can actually You can actually damage your shocks by having imbalanced tires. A bad wheel bearing, if you just go along with a bad wheel bearing, you can cause the same problem. So it's less tire maintenance. You go to the tire shop, you get them balanced, there's no problem. They don't gotta spin the tire on the wheel and try to match up the highs and low spots. You won't really have to deal with that with Michelin. So let's go see what this one is, because I don't even know what this one is. And then up from this one to, yeah, here. So it's like, that's, you know, so this is a medium grade tire, I'll call it. So it has more room for an imperfection because of how big the casting is. So I was a discount tire tech for many years before I got into the field, but these are the things that they were teaching us. You know, that's a tire to get you by, if you will, and one to rely on for certain.